So today in this reading, we are going to find out the truth, what's been blocking you from seeing the truth, what's supporting you in seeing the truth, where you can unearth more of it and bring the truth to light for yourself to help you understand something, move through something, work with a particular energy, or just to satisfy your curiosity. So I'm guided to do something a little bit different, and that is to do 3 separate readings, although actually I don't know if they're going to be separate, so you can watch all 3. It's not really a pick a card, but I'm going to ask for 3 different truths because we need to know what truth are we talking about. So I'll pull out 3 cards from here as the 3 different truths that you're inquiring about, and you can choose whichever truth you would like to gravitate towards, that you do gravitate towards, or maybe it's more than one. Okay, so let's see. The first truth that you need to know about. Spirit. Psychic. This is about your psychic abilities. It could also be about a certain kind of energy that you've been picking up on. Maybe you feel like somebody's monitoring you or watching you, or you feel like there's some kind of psychic energy coming towards you that you either like or you don't like. I don't know yet. Or about your own psychic capacity and abilities. So that's the first reading. Let's see what the second truth is that you may or may not need to know about, depending on what you feel intuitively guided to watch. The second truth, Spirit. The second truth is about a karmic path. Okay, we see Saturn here. So this is a karmic path that comes with big rewards, but also a lot of hardship and some kind of restriction that you've felt. Could be in a relationship or could just be with your own energy. You feel like you're restricted in doing something. I do have to say, okay, and this is just, my own intuitive observation, but I'm noticing the purple, and here it's muted, it's kind of dull, and then here it's very vibrant. So it does feel like the increase in your psychic abilities and your psychic capacities has come from a difficult karmic path that you've been on. Maybe this is just an additional message. I mean, usually that's the case because when we're on a difficult karmic path, we really turn inwards and discover our own feelings, our own capacities. We ask questions of ourselves, of God, of spirit, of the universe. Why did this happen? What do I do next? Etc. And when we commune with spirit in that way, we increase our intuitive awareness and ability, which leads to more psychic power. Okay, so that it makes sense, but I'm just seeing a little bit of a story unfold here just in these cards. Okay, let's see the third truth that Spirit wants to talk about. The third truth. Oh, we have 2. Maybe we'll take them together. Guides and full moon. So this could be about a literal full moon that's coming up, a certain time period, or a full moon that you remember that is important to you. Okay, some of you might have been born on a full moon. This could be an important message for you. Full moons are also about culmination, the energy closing, a closing of a cycle. And your guides coming through and communicating with you at that time, or you're being particularly guided during the full moon, or you yourself have the capacity to guide something to a closure. And I feel like this is on the next full moon. Okay, so this is what the 3 truths are that Spirit wants to talk about. So we will begin with psychic, number 1. So let's find out. I have a little spread here I'm using. It's actually called The Stranger Things from the show. That comes from there, whoever created it. But I just felt drawn to the spread itself. Like, this reading isn't really about the show, but maybe that's a message for you. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to get all the cards out first so I can see the overall picture, and then we will discuss. Psychic, number 48. Now, I am being reminded of a message that I received earlier, like a few days ago. I still haven't totally understood what the message is, but it's popping into my mind now. And it was a message about return to sender. And when that message came through, like, I felt the message was like, I got return to sender. And then that had me thinking about the concept of it. Is it a useful concept? Is the and I started looking up online what people think about return to sender. Some people don't believe in it. They think that it's bad karma to return something to sender, especially if you're amplifying the energy. Other people think it's neutral because you're just bouncing energy back off of you. Other people think that there's no need to return to sender, that you can take the energy that's been given towards you and transmute it. And I feel like that last one, transmuting the energy, has been the way that I personally work with any kind of negative forces that are sent my way. I use it for my own purposes. I transmute it. Sometimes I transmute it through artwork or writing or even through readings. But when I was thinking about my own personal take, when I received this message, there was a little bit of like a spirit saying you don't have to do that. And I feel like it's coming through for you too. Maybe you transmute a ton of energy. Okay, in your relationships, in your workplace, just out in the world. You do some kind of psychic work here. And I feel like Spirit's saying that is very energy consuming, transmutation. And perhaps there's been an increase of energy that's been sent towards you, or just, this doesn't have to be intentionally people sending energy towards you. It could just be they have their attention on you and they're conflicted, but you're heavily on their mind, or, and it's just like it's in the air. You can feel it. You can pick up on it because you're sensitive. Okay. It could be a projection somebody has towards you. It doesn't have to be like they're literally doing some kind of ceremonial magic. It could be that too, that you pick up on. But either way, I feel like you are protected, because you should understand that the one who has authority over your own energetic field is you. No one else can be given authority over your own energetic field unless you allow it. That is my firm belief and my experience. Okay, maybe you have a different way of seeing it. That's cool too. And I'm not saying that's not valid. Could definitely be your experience. You could share that if you want in the comments. But this is long-winded. Spirit is saying that you don't have to transmute a particular energy. You can actually send it back so that you can reserve your energy stores for something that's more important. Okay? So that just came through. So let's see the truth. If there's something else, Spirit, we're open to that too. Six of Earth. See, this is a give and take. Giving and taking. Okay, so let's get all the cards out. That's interesting. Some of you might want to work with charms. I'm just seeing the charms. Like the scissor charm I'm seeing. Letter charms, the letter D, C. I don't know why I don't feel guided to use them. So maybe that's a note for you in your psychic work to use charms, or something that's tactile in some way, like has a different texture than what you're used to working with. Maybe you pick up a lot of things through your senses. Okay, I do want to get a little bit more information here. There's something that maybe requires a little bit of patience. Your psychic powers. Spirit, tell me more about the Six of Earth. Thank you. Ah, beautiful. Tell me more about the Ten of Cups. Oh, you're very giving, or you have been in the past. Okay, hold on. Tell me about the moon. Tell me about the moon, Spirit. It's hard for me not to talk. I said this, I think I said this to Leo the other day. Or maybe it was Sag in the extended. Like whenever I'm guided to get all the cards out first and kind of shut my mouth, it's really hard for me. Because so many things are popping up, coming in, energies, but Spirit's like, just wait. So this could be a message for you too. It most likely is. Okay, let's see. The truth. The truth about this. Well, hold on a second, Spirit. I need clarity here. Can we find out a little bit more about the psychic theme? What is this theme getting to here? What are we talking about? Just a little bit more context. Thank you. Ace of Water, a new psychic ability. Okay. Or psychic abilities around love and creativity. Okay, you could be very creative in your artistic work, and your business is creative, I'm getting for someone. But I feel like for most of you, this is about feeling your psychic capacity in a new way and attending to it, watering it. Spirit wants you to develop this. And this Venn diagram is interesting. It's like this is the space that you're supposed to inhabit when you're tuning in to your subconscious mind, to the collective unconscious, to Spirit's messages. There's something about the soul stream coming through there. And so maybe visualizing yourself in this sacred middle space will help you. It's not all about you, okay, over here, and it's not all about just only about spirit or some kind of abstract energy. It's the coming together and the combination of both energies. I mean, in reality, you are everything, and everything is you, but maybe you've been thinking in a kind of binary way where you're seeing yourself as separate from spirit, and spirit is something that exists outside of you or beyond you. But it's within you, and you have to bring your own talents, gifts, energy, insights to whatever it is that you're picking up on and receiving intuitively. Now you have to check your ego, okay, and your own intentions, but it's not a bad thing to have your own personal inflections infused in your psychic downloads. I mean, that's what makes it so beautiful. There's so many different intuitive people, so many different readers. They all have their own style. They all have a different ways of delivering messages because they're bringing parts of their soul to the reading or to the work that they're doing. And Spirit wants to remind you that that's what you can do too. And it's what you should do. That's what you should water and develop. It will help you grow just as a human in general in other aspects of your life. Okay, so the truth is, 6 of Earth and the heart. The truth is that your psychic abilities are the strongest when you give to others from your heart. Why does that feels like you might already feel that or think that? Well, what needs to be shattered around this truth is the 10 of Cups with the desert. And so perhaps you're very open with your heart. You do give a lot. You do share your psychic knowings with others vis-a-vis your heart space. But it's not always returned, the desert. The intentions are this is for all, or this is for love and light, or this is to bring unity and happiness. This is for me to discover my own happiness, but then it's like dry lands, you know? It's not reciprocated, or perhaps like your psychic abilities, you feel like, where is this all taking me? Where is this leading me? What is this even doing for me? And I also got a message right away. I almost forgot it, but it just came through again. hold on a second. To be mindful of who you share your gifts with, if you want to call them that, or your creativity with, or your deep-seated soul knowledge with, the vulnerable kind about your spirit, not the esoteric kind. Okay, so Spirit's not saying you have to limit who you share esoteric knowledge with, like learned knowledge, but maybe there's a certain kind of ancestral knowing you have, or even a cultural practice that you have related to spirit, or there's something sacred here, a memory you have, something deep within you. And it's beautiful that you share and tend to give freely with your heart, but there is something about being mindful who you share your heart with in terms of the energy around it. Does that make sense? Because I feel like if you're more selective about what you say, what you teach, and what you do with your psychic capacity, then you're going to avoid feeling like you've been left out to dry or that something is not reciprocated. There's a better chance for you to find a soul tribe this way. Okay, selection is like a boundary. So be selective. Even that word feels very powerful when I say it. So maybe you want to meditate on what it means to be selective for you when it comes to psychic abilities. You may even need to think about selecting your tools carefully, or what ideas or entities or archetypes or guides you want to work with. Just select, be intentional. Because you do have a lot to offer here. And I am picking up on somebody who's kind of vulnerable, like in a not in a weak way, but in a expressive way, in a way that allows energy to flow because you're willing to see where it goes. Okay? This is quite beautiful, but also a sensitive energy. Okay, and for some of you, you've forgotten that this is you. Okay, but it's in there. All right, your strength, or who has your back. We have the vintage, I was going to say. Okay, something about finish maybe, or the village coming through, but we have the forest and the vision, which I guess was kind of a combo of those words. Interesting. And then strength. What is your strength? Strength. So what do I say here, Spirit? Well, you can see the forest through the trees, the vision. You can see the larger picture of things. You also have the courage to go into dark places, whether these are shadow realms, subconscious voids, I'm hearing. Okay, maybe you do some psychology or depth psychology work or psychotherapy or something like this. You can go into the void space of the subconscious mind without fear. But it's not stupidly. It's not like, oh, I'm not scared of anything, so here I dive into this like uncharted terrain. No, you have the right tools. It's not just courage. It's skill and experience you've gained. Some of you are literally forest dwellers, I'm hearing. Like maybe you spend a lot of time in the forest, or your spirit is linked to the forest in some way. There's something about the darkness and the coolness of the forest and the light shining through the trees that might activate you. Notice when you're in the forest next time what the light is touching. I'm getting that Lion King quote. What is it? Everything the light touches is yours. So when you're in the forest, when you see what is the light is touching, think about whatever it's touching as something that you can work with. It's yours to work with, whether that's a flower, the water, pay attention to the elements. This is cool. Okay. And maybe there's Leo energy too, because we have strength in the heart. something that you can pay attention to. And we have all signs in our chart. Like, for example, Leo rules my 10th house, depending on if you're using whole houses or not. So there could be something about that for you somewhere in your chart. And the vision quest. Some of you need to spend more time in the forest. That's what has your back, is literally, I feel like, the woods, the forest, the trees, the stars, the sky, maybe owls too. You have very astute and attuned visions. I'm also noticing these hands here. There's something about holding your hands in a position that feels right to you. When you're trying to channel information, download, there's something you could do with your hands. Maybe it's a particular mudra, or maybe it's holding them like this. Whatever, praying maybe, I don't know. Your hands are important in your visions. Okay, and it's sometimes I don't really watch my readings back because it's kind of cringe, like watching myself. but when they do come around and I feel really guided to watch a reading I've done, I notice sometimes I do a lot of this, like when I'm trying to feel the energy or come to a certain kind of interpretation, and that's coming through there. There might be something that you intuitively do with your hands to help you focus in on a vision. So pay attention to that and treat your hands nicely. Oh yeah, because we had that message about tactility too with the charms. So there is something there that you're feeling. Okay, so where do we go next? What you don't want to see. This is curious. Curiosity of air and the moon. This is literally like you don't want to see something. And then we have the card, the Hunter. What you don't want to see, you really don't want to see, because it's not even clear to me what you don't want to see. Like, you're not really telling me because you don't want to see. Makes sense. It could be, it doesn't matter what your gender it is, but I'm getting here that some of you feel like your feminine energy is attacked or constantly being hunted down in some way. Maybe this is your heart, your caretaking ability, that softness, that vulnerability, the creativity, your mothering instincts that you have. Doesn't matter, again, what your gender is. It could be your sensuality, your sexuality, the way you look. The authority of your intellect. Something here is like, feels like it's under attack with the moon and the feminine energy. You don't want to see it. This isn't for all of you, but let me see. Why don't they want to see it? Youth. I was thinking maybe it's mother stuff. Doesn't have to be, but we have the Fool. Perhaps you need to take a stronger stand here. There could be things in your life that you really want to take a risk with, a chance with, and you hold yourself back because you fear you're going to be attacked for your vulnerability, for your softness, for your intuition. Even your sexuality, you could feel attacked at some level. Or your romanticism. Okay, what else is here, Spirit, if it's not that? What they don't want to see. Can I get one more with the Hunter? Tell me about this Hunter. The Sword. Yeah, it's like a feeling like something's coming in, really like to catch you off guard or something. But I'm not saying that that's what's actually happening. What I'm really getting here is like there's some uncomfortable feeling of some energy coming towards you. Maybe this goes back to the return to sender. And it's like, rather than dealing with it directly, in some way, you start something else instead, or I don't know, it's like, You don't sit in something uncomfortable in order to understand what you can do about it. Now, I don't know exactly what this is, but we are talking about your psychic abilities here and just psychicness in general. Yeah, some of you need to spend more time honing in on a particular, I'm hearing a card, a particular skill, or maybe there's a certain card in the tarot that you just don't really vibe with, or you haven't really gone into the depths of what it means. Like it's a key. You can unlock something here, but every time you get close to it, you're hunting down the truth, the meaning of what it is. It's like it gets murky and then you decide to just move on and do something else. There's more for you to discover, but it feels like maybe you have a lot of Gemini in your chart, because this can be a Gemini thing where you just like maybe get bored or frustrated and you just jump to the next thing. There's something here about like having sustained focus and retaining your focus on finding out what something really means and why you don't want to find out why you don't want to sit in this feeling. I know this one is a little bit abstract, but there is something hiding here. I can't get to it exactly. So I'm just going to keep going. Maybe we'll get some more clarity. What blocks the truth is the Nine of Pentacles and Thanatos, which is the energy of death and transformation. For some of you, you are overworking in the area of psychicness. Okay, it's like draining a little bit. It's not that it's incorrect what you're doing or that you can't do what you're doing, but it feels like it's related to what you don't want to see. It feels like you need to I'm hearing suspension. You need some time to sit in this area of like, I don't really know what I think about this, or I don't really know what this message means. I don't really know where this is going. You know, like in order to hone in on this psychic ability a little bit more. Quick answers and quick understandings are not going to help you grow here in this particular realm. Some of you may also have had some instability in your life recently. You could have found yourself newly single, or you're worried about money constantly, or you've lost money, or your status in some way, your public status, your emotional status, I'm hearing, your family status, your work status, something like this. You feel like it's hanging on by a wire, a thread, a string. Again, I'm seeing these hands. Okay, can I get some advice about this first before we move on? Well, I feel like there's something that wants to come towards you. Hold on. Emergence. Judgment. Okay, I love this card. It reminds me of fairies in the forest, right? That's you. There you are. Look at this dude. What's going on in this card? Holy. Maybe you find lots of different aspects of yourself when you go into this forest. A lot of energy is willing to work with you. There's an awakening. There's an awakening, but you need to sacrifice a certain kind of security that you're holding on to. It's interfering with your awakening, like your higher level of conscious, your stronger intuitive abilities. And I feel like Spirit's trying to give something to you here to connect to your heart space. There's something about you could feel judged. Three of Water from others, yeah. Okay, just because your psychic capacities don't look like others doesn't mean you're wrong. Okay? I mean, look at the diversity of our world, all the different little bugs and species and flowers and petals, and, you know, they all play their role. Petals. I was doing some macro photography earlier, and I was looking really close at this cool little cactus thing I have growing in my backyard. I was like, wow, that's really, like, when you get up close and you really look into something, like, man, you just miss that when you walk by, but when you stop and photograph the flowers, you really see something. Okay, so there's something about you taking a visual imprint of something in your mind, holding a still image of something in your mind that other people don't see. Okay, so a lot of people walk by something that you can see clearly, and you see the depth of it, and you hold it in your mind. And just because someone else doesn't see this doesn't mean you haven't seen it. Okay, that's a message. Where the truth is hidden. We have the Three of Earth and the Box. This is reminding me of like a protected soul tribe. The box going through this is like a maze, layers and layers and layers to get to the center. The truth of your psychic abilities, or what you can do with them, is hidden. The way you can access them more is to give yourself credit. Believe in yourself. Honor yourself. Okay? Invest in yourself, I'm hearing. Yeah, just believe in yourself. Really. It's very easy when we're in this watery, intuitive, psychic realm to second guess things. I mean, hello, we're working with energy and thought forms and downloads and all this stuff that's not tangible, okay, and that can't be proven. But, so people can easily criticize that, right? It's easy. But if you hold on to that recognition that you know what you know through experience, it's been proven to you that yes, you do have psychic abilities, and you hold on to that, then you go through, like, you don't get stuck in the maze. You find the center point of your truth, that you have a lot to give from the heart. You do. Your psychic capacities live in your heart chakra. Whoever I'm connecting to. Okay, that's the reading I have for you. It was a lot longer than I expected, but I think it was worth it. So I'm going to go to the next reading, the Karmic Path. Okay, the Karmic Path. Just as I was getting ready for this, shuffling the cards, I'm, quiet as I'm shuffling. And then Patrick always, when the doors close here, my cat, Patrick, when he doesn't hear me speaking anymore, he starts meowing because he's like, oh, it's food time. She stopped talking. And that came through as a message, as in when you're quiet, somebody may try to get your attention, or suddenly they have something to say, but it's only when you're quiet. And now I'm also getting a distraction here. Somebody has something very important they want to do, or they need to talk to me about. They need my advice, but I'm prioritizing this right now. That can wait, okay? And so this is part of the karmic path, right? It's prioritizing what is important to you in terms of soul work and your destiny and what matters to you, what helps you grow. Also, what makes you feel good. There could be other energies as it's happening, trying to get your attention, asking you for help or asking you to do something for them. And maybe you've done this quite a bit. You've said, okay, hold on, I'll pause it. I'll stop what I'm doing and I'll go attend to this thing that's happening for this person, or, So this is all coming through right now. So I do believe it's a message of the karmic path, but let's find out more by getting the cards out. What is going on? Oh my God, the messages are just coming through. Okay, I'm going to have to tell this person because they won't stop. Okay, the karmic path. Let's look into this. Let's find out the truth about this karmic path, Spirit. Yeah, I'll take it. I'm hearing invasive. Certainly, this does feel invasive. And the messages that are coming through, like, it is important, okay? It's not an emergency, but it could feel like that for someone else. It's like, I don't know, there's a sense of urgency. Other people need you when it's urgent for them. Something like this, okay? But you could have also signed up for it, right? So perhaps it's just a matter of setting a boundary now. But let's see what else we get here, because this energy is interesting. Tell me what blocks things. Okay, I'm also going to get some oracle cards to clarify. Tell me about this Knight of Fire. Oh, yeah, like this energy here is so chaotic. Not in it, like, it doesn't mean a bad way, but it's busy. A lot of cards are coming out. Everything in the beginning that happened, it's completely different than the first reading. So if you watched the first reading, this could definitely be something that occurred prior in the past, or that introduced a turning point for you in your life when you realized you needed to identify distractions or prioritize yourself. Tell me more about the karmic path. Restriction with Saturn, it's kind of like giving restricted access. Wow, like there are so many cards here. I'm wondering, should I start over, Spirit? No, I don't think so. No. It's just the shadows coming through here too. Like, I mean the card, but also like I can feel the shadow energy, and it feels very like fractured, frazzled, distracted. It's strange. Okay, now we could be talking about someone else's energy as well, since we are talking about a karmic path, and our karmic paths are always intertwined and interlinked with others. Okay, so let's get to this. I'm going to ask for one tarot card. Can you tell me a little bit more about this karmic path? I'm noticing the number 8 on the card, which to me corresponds to the 8th house, which is matters surrounding transformation, relationships on a deep psychological level, inheritance, both spiritually and physically, intimacy, and also Scorpio energy. So we could be talking about that. We have the Ace of Fire, the Hermit, which says the Seeker, and the Page of Wands. Well, you have been a seeker from a very young age. Okay, you were born with this fire inside of you to find out the truth, which is probably why you're in this reading. You have been born with the desire to find out the truth. And every situation you go through, I'm hearing mull through, you mull it over, it leads you back to yourself. As it kind of should. But a lot of people don't make that connection. It's like you have your karmic situations, whatever those are, relationships, jobs, growth patterns, family stuff. But it always leads you back to yourself, like a deeper understanding of yourself. So your karmic path is linked to a deep desire to know not only the truth about things out there, but also about yourself. You're kind of a mystery unto yourself, even though you feel like you know thyself. I love it. Yeah, 8th house. It's like you're going deep, deep, deep into those still waters of what makes you you. And all of this busyness and chaos and being pulled, I'm seeing these threads here, being pulled in different directions by different energies are difficult because it takes you away from this path that you're on, which is not only your karmic path, but also your dharmic path, right? It's leading you towards your higher purpose to discover these deep truths of yourself and then apply them outwardly into the world to make a difference in some capacity, okay? But all of this distraction is difficult to deal with, and it's present, okay? It is happening. It could be very hard to focus or to feel settled in a sense. And these pulls can come through all kinds of different energies. But you do, I just keep wanting to say this, that you do just keep returning to yourself. It doesn't matter how many times people pull you in different directions. You keep coming back to yourself. Beautiful. Okay, so the truth is the Knight of Fire, the Threshold, and the Eternal Child. See, ever since you were young, ever since you were a child, you've had this desire to cross the threshold. Cross the threshold into a deeper understanding of self, maybe crossing thresholds in relationships, pushing them to see what they can teach you. Maybe not consciously, right? But they do always teach you something. Because you cross the threshold. A lot of people stand on the threshold like, I don't know where this is going to go. It's kind of like poking the bear, but not in a negative sense. It's kind of like, you're the bear too. So you poke the bear and you say, well, what's going to happen if I do this? Let's just see. It's daring, it's spontaneous, and it's not always conscious. Okay, sometimes you ask yourself, well, why did I do that? I knew better. Why did I do it? Well, you did it to find out more about yourself. You crossed the threshold because ever since you were young, this is what you've been wanting to do, is push the limits, push the boundaries of your own mind, of your own heart, of relationships, of energy, and just see what happens. And it's not a bad thing. Can it lead to some troubles and issues at times? Absolutely. But if you become more conscious of this energy that you have, then you can direct it in really amazing, positive ways. And I feel like, the first threshold, psychic threshold, energetic threshold, higher consciousness threshold, relationship threshold, you crossed at a young age. You did. Some of you had difficult relationships with adults as a child, okay? These thresholds that you crossed as a child live within you. They're part of your inner child. So when you nurture and take care of your inner child, you can feel this velocity of fire to act, to create, to do something, to go somewhere, to explore, to have an adventure. And when you're caught in the shadow over here, so you're not nurturing your inner child or listening to it or condemning it, you could feel very restrained. You could feel like you're actually on fire, metaphorically. That you get very even isolated at times. Okay? Self-doubt could happen as well. And the threshold seems scary. It seems like something to be wary of, that there's no turning back. But there's always a turning in for you, okay? And in is where, your spirit lives. It's where spirit lives. So you're okay. I don't know. This is what's coming through, okay? So let's see your strength. Who or what has your back? Youth and the Pilgrim. Yeah. Lots of cards about child and, childhood. Hold on a second. There's an interference here. What do I say about that, Spirit? I don't know how to... Jealousy, evil eye. Okay. Maybe some of you need to do something like a little bit symbolic to protect yourself, whether that's hanging an evil eye or having an amulet or just holding that in your mind. It was interesting too. I was touching my third eye, protecting your third eye in a way, because there's an energy that just keeps coming through. It's part of all the distractions. There's something very important that you're doing. Okay. And some of the people that distract you past life, they're very jealous of the progress that you're making internally. Okay, this could be past life jealousy, past life issues, the karmic relationships you have where you're like, whoa, okay, that was definitely karmic. Those ones. There's past life energy here. I cut on it again. And there's jealousy around the levels that you've ascended in this lifetime and maybe even other lifetimes. Divinity. You're closer and closer to divinity and you're channeled into your divinity. Protection in reverse. And this energy may want to interfere. Could be friends even. Got the friendship card here. So just know that is something that you're working through. And what can I give as advice there? Sovereignty of fire. Don't forget your fire. And also the king of fire is free, right? He's free from those evil eyes. He's free from the distractions because he holds the power in his mind, the authority, the spiritual authority to direct his attention where it should go. And he acts in the direction that means the most to him and the highest good of all. Okay, so there's something about mind over other jealous matter, like matter being people, or matters, we could even say. Mind over jealous matter or distracting matter. Try to keep that maybe as a mantra. My mind is over and above and more powerful than these distracting energies or even distracting matters that come before me. Thank you. Your strength, or who or what has your back. The Fool card and the Pilgrim. Adventure, exploration, going on a journey. This is your ultimate strength. No doubt about it. And being inspired by people who do that. Don't live via others, though. Some of you may be watching things where people are going out and doing all kinds of crazy, cool things, but you're not doing them yourself, although you're really enchanted by it. Don't get too distracted with that. Or jealous. You go and you do it, because that is your strength, is to take those risks, to find out who you are, to go on the journey. It's okay. It's going to be an enriching life experience if you take these risks. And it's how you break karmic cycles. When you do something that you've never done before, breaking that pattern, energetic pattern. That's huge. Building new neural pathways, thinking differently. Okay, so that's your strength. Don't doubt yourself. And if anybody's telling you not to take chances, not to go on journeys, jealous, right? So keep that in mind. Some of you might actually go on some kind of spiritual retreat or trip or something like this, and it's going to support you a lot. Okay, what illusions do you need to shatter? We have the empty room, the Lovers, the Three of Swords, and the Chariot. The Chariot's going to the empty room. Now, the empty room is a positive card. It talks about all possibilities. When you move into a house or a new place and the room is empty and you can do whatever you want with it, it's kind of thrilling. All the possibilities are here. But this is an illusion you need to shatter. So what does this mean? Spirit, help me. Spirit, help me. Is that what that is? Yeah. 7 of Wands. Okay, for someone here, when shit hits the proverbial fan, okay, and relationships don't go well or karmic contracts don't go well, whether this is in your family or work or love, wherever, friendship, Spirit is showing me that because of this spirit that you have for adventure and this velocity you have to cross thresholds, you may distract yourself by ignoring the pain or ignoring the lesson and just moving on to the next thing. This is the shadow side of the beautiful, magical ability you have to cross a threshold. Everything has light and dark. And so the shadow side of this strength that you have is that you're so good at it, or it's just embedded in you, that you can use it to bypass or to ignore things that actually need to be considered or dealt with. But the initial message is you always come back to yourself. And here you could be avoiding something right now where you're trying not to come back to yourself. You're actually trying to go somewhere outside of yourself. Does this make any sense? For example, some of you may just get up and move. Maybe this is a metaphor even. When it's too painful, and distract yourself with the new beginning. But then if you don't work through something that really hurts and was disappointing to you, it comes up in other ways, sometimes years later, sometimes unexpectedly, sometimes through a new relationship, because we haven't worked through or dealt with the energy. Nothing's changed. So if you've been thinking about escaping in some sense, in order to avoid something painful, Spirit's saying you need to break that illusion. There's more to that, but I don't know. Maybe it's really personal and specific for each of you, what's going on here, that I can't really talk about it. Let me get one more. I don't know. No. Let's just pull one of these cards. Anything here? Jealous again. Whoa. And I'm looking right at the jealousy card. Are you jealous of somebody? Maybe you think somebody has the ability to just move on and start something new. And you wish you could have that too. But like I just said, it's going to catch up to them. So don't allow yourself to believe that illusion that somebody else has just dropped you and that's it. And that their psyche and soul and subconscious mind aren't having a fit over it, because they are. They got to work through that hardship. Yeah, there's gonna be a hardship that pops up that forces whoever this is or whatever this is to deal with the avoidance. Somebody avoidant maybe here, okay? There's also potentially a family here that may be jealous. Because they've had a harder time with something. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. What you don't want to see. What do we have here? The Star, Emergence, which is Judgment, but I want to say Awakening, which it is also that. And Curiosity of Earth, Page of Pentacles. And Alchemy, Temperance. And then we have a lot here. What you don't want to see. The Temple, the Starborn, and the One. I mean, these are powerful cards here. I have a feeling for someone here that I'm connecting to, you don't want to see how powerful you are. Maybe because you're trying to avoid jealousy. You've had experiences in your past when people were jealous of you. They did cruel things to you. Usually that happens. So you're trying to avoid something. Maybe you're trying to avoid the spotlight a little bit with the Hermit card. Cross thresholds in silence rather than letting yourself shine. Yeah, that's interesting. What you don't want to see is your own ability, your own magic, your own capacity for alchemy. That you are the one, the Starborn, the star and the Starborn. Some of you need to treat your body better. Okay, more sleep, more water. Speaking of, better food, more exercise, more sunlight, okay, more moonlight even. Also, there is something here from your childhood, once again, that you could transmute. Look at this little cat. It looks like Patrick. Maybe it's one of those distractions that was always calling for your attention, you know, take care of me, as you were trying to do something else. So I feel like Spirit's saying there's something here that you could transmute and that you could balance out, bring into universal order. You have to learn how to do this, though, with the Page of Pentacles. It's not going to be something you immediately, intuitively know how to do. You're going to have to work on it a little bit. With the Judgment card, too, it's going to create an awakening for you. But it's going to hatch this new, profound understanding of your significance generally. Okay, so that's interesting. You're very hard on yourself at times, okay? I think in multiple ways, not just when it comes to your spiritual path, your karmic path, but in other ways too. Okay? What blocks the truth? The Shadow and the Two of Cups. This is some kind of relationship that you have with someone or multiple people in which the shadow has really come out. You've shown people their shadow. They've showed you your shadow. It was a whole shadow rigmarole. Rigmarole. Yeah, sorry. That one's hard to say today. Maybe there's something about the letter R. Okay, there was a whole bunch of shadow stuff that was at play. And that blocks the truth of your ability to cross these thresholds. Okay, so somebody could have been holding you back. Stay with me. You're married to me karmically. Like, we have to be in this together. Our shadows are united. Our light forces are united. We're never going to part ways. And this prevents you from crossing the threshold. Okay, so that's blocking the truth of your capacity. I'm hearing to move worlds and explore worlds. This could also be, well, wait, I'm confused about that, Spirit. How does this, what blocks the truth, relate to what illusion needs to be shattered? I mean, they must relate. King of Earth. Oh, well, it's like a neediness that people have for that you offer a sense of security and stability in some way. Maybe emotionally, financially, you're just a grounded person. And like you're very tolerant. You have a lot of you just let something happen for a little bit of time, okay? Hoping for the best for the other person to stop doing what they're doing that's draining you or something like that. You know, you try something, you give it a shot here. Because you do have a huge amount of strength with the King of Earth to withstand shadow, to withstand hardship. So I feel like you really give something a fair shot, but then it goes overboard. Is that right? They go overboard. 5 of Earth. Yes, they take. Take your resources, take your energy, take your time. And that's when you're like, boom, I'm off the chariot. I'm not dealing with this. It's too much. I'm gone. I'm starting something new. Okay, that's for some of you. And that's what's blocking your truth, that you're a threshold crosser, because it's almost like you don't see the threshold that you need to cross. Instead, you're just like already off, like, I'm just going to go. And it's not that you shouldn't go and cut the cord. You can, but spiritually, you still need to be aware of where the threshold is, how you can cross it, what you need to heal, what happened, what shadows did you see of yourself that are important for you to know, rather than to just ignore it. Okay, that's for someone. That might take a bit of time to work through that message too. It might not click with you immediately, but if you sit with it or journal 5 of water, try to think about the times that you decided you were not going to emotionally or psychologically deal with something. You were just going to occupy your mind with something else. This could even be little things, because you missed the threshold. Like the awakening moment when you do that. Okay? So I feel like what blocks you from the truth is somebody else's like codependency on you, or energies that try to lock you in, that want you to provide security and resources. That blocks the truth because of how you eventually respond to it. Not all the times, but sometimes. You're definitely aware of some thresholds you cross, but not others that need to be crossed. I'm sorry. I hope this makes help. What the heck is going on? And I've said sorry twice, which I don't usually apologize like that. So perhaps there's somebody here who's made you apologize a lot, or makes you feel like you need to apologize, or they continue to apologize to you. There's something about apologies not making sense, because right after I said that, what I said next did not make sense. Okay, that's a message. Where the truth is hidden. 3 of Pentacles and the Orphan. Wow. Here we go back to the child. This is a wound. The truth is hidden in a wound, usually. Okay, like a deeper truth, what you're trying to get to with the Hermit. The feeling of being orphaned, of being abandoned. Maybe by yourself, someone you loved, a parental figure, a caretaker, somebody in a position of authority, the world in general, spirit. I don't know what it is for you, but there's a sense of abandonment you feel after having achieved something kind of significant here at 3 of Pentacles. You should have been celebrated, but instead there was a sense of abandonment. So if you're trying to find the truth, look at how you might feel orphaned in a situation where you should have been recognized. Then give that recognition to yourself. There's also something here about holding hands with others who Nine of Air, who are struggling maybe with their own abandonment issues or their own anxieties, and providing some kind of knowledge and guidance to help them cross a threshold. Not like how you were doing back here, though. This is guidance and love while maintaining your priorities. This is not, there's something about enmeshment. Okay, learning about the ways that people try to enmesh with you, and they do. And some of them are jealous and they still try to enmesh with you. There's something you could learn here on your karmic path towards your dharmic path, how to still provide service, guidance, be the threshold leader, crosser that you are, and the star, the starborn, the one, and provide all of that good guidance you have, good energy you have, without enmeshing with their shadows and projections that might trigger your wounds. Okay? Wow, that was a difficult one. All right. That's what I have for you, and I'm going to move to the last reading, full moon and guides. All right, full moon and guides. I'm guided, I feel the need to take my hair down. So this is probably part of your message, part of the energy. It's got a crimp in it because it was wet when I put it up. But maybe you need to let your hair down with something here. Okay, your guides are guiding you to relax, to release. Something has culminated. Something has come full circle. Some of you are going to change your hair, do something with your hair. Oh yeah, you definitely could be doing that. This is reminding me of hair here too. And there's something about this representing a culmination of a cycle. This, I'm smiling because this would resonate with someone I know. Okay, so, but I didn't plan that. All right, let's get into it. Let's see what's going on for you. Some of you have something about you physically that you're getting more confident with, and maybe this was a sore spot for you at some point in your life. You didn't like this thing about yourself, about the way you look, but it's now becoming something that you love or that you will love. You're becoming very comfortable with it, and this is a reflection, a mirror of how you've become more comfortable with yourself in general, your soul, and your direction and your understanding of self. So there's a message here about self-acceptance. You're being guided to accept yourself the way you are. And I don't know why image is coming out, but that seems important in the context of this acceptance. Well, I guess, you know, when we're out in the world, which we are, we're constantly being judged. I mean, as we judge others. I don't mean in a heavy-duty way. I mean, like, we make assumptions about people. We have to for our survival. If we feel like someone looks like they're going to be dangerous, we need to steer clear of them, right? So we're constantly assessing. And a lot of it our subconscious mind is doing for us too, based on things we've gone through, pattern recognition, things like that. So there's something here where you're being guided, perhaps to understand what really is a threat for you and what isn't. What really is safe for you and what isn't. Because I feel like a lot of judgments have been cast your way, whether that is on your appearance or whether it's something else you've done creatively, professionally. There's been judgments. But now that you're accepting yourself, there's certain paths you don't need to steer clear from that you used to because you thought they were dangerous. Okay, I mean, this is a general reading, so you have to use your own intuition here. This is like scared to pursue a certain lifestyle, a certain path, travel somewhere, make new friends, you know, things like that. If you literally know someone's dangerous, then obviously steer clear. Interesting message coming out. Okay, let's see what else. Yeah, this is beautiful. You are breaking from some kind of some energy that you've been subjected to by others. a judgment. Which means your judgments of others are less reactive and coming from the shadow, and more conscious attunements to other people's energies. Something might happen on the full moon that really brings this into view for you. You're going to realize that you know what you're doing. Seems a little abstract. Let's see. Something is definitely closing out and completing, okay? If you've been like worrying, wondering, why is this taking so long? It's closing, for sure. Like on multiple levels, like emotionally, actually, mentally, there's peace ahead or right now. Can we know more about the Page of Swords over here? The Judge. The Page of Swords and the Judge. For your strength. See what I'm saying? All right. The Nine of Wands, Spirit. Two of Air. Two of Air. Okay. And last one. The last one, Spirit. I really like this message, the shaman. Yes, I do. It's beautiful. The riddle. See, it's like you're figuring out the riddle. The riddle to what needs to happen in order for you to feel sovereign and free and for a cycle to come to a close. Perhaps you don't know why, like, you've been stuck in this certain way of thinking, or things are always happening in a particular way. Maybe you even feel stagnant, but it's like now the understanding is clear, and it has to do with understanding the need for like real deep self-acceptance, which is always a work in progress, right? It really is, because we constantly continue to face new battles that get us to question ourselves. But, you know, continuing that deep self-acceptance is what frees you, is what closes this chapter for you. The truth is the Six of Swords, which is moving to calmer waters mentally with the sword energy. It's smoother communication, clear thinking, and leaving the Five of Swords, the conflict, the manipulation, the mental games, the chaos in the brain, leaving all of that behind. And how are you doing this? The truth, the mirror. By understanding and detaching from, understanding first the ways that you haven't accepted yourself, and then detaching from that mode, that pattern, that energy of ridicule or judgment or non-acceptance of self. You hold up a mirror to something inside of you or even outside of you that you've been grappling with, struggling with, and you accept it, you value it. There's that moon rising. You see it as something to behold, to cherish, something that is fundamental to you, no matter what anybody said about it. Oh, this feels so good. And the moon is in this card too. The mirror. Your emotions always act as a mirror for deeper truths that live within you. Okay? They get you to explore energies that you're holding on to or that you want to experience more of. If you look in the mirror I'm hearing, what do you see? But that's not what I was going to say. Well, what do you see? Because I see somebody who is moving quickly along towards home. Seeing home, towards a sense of home. I also saw stormy. It's like no matter the storms, no matter the rough waters, you're still going to feel at home in yourself. I don't know. I'm trying to communicate the brevity here of what I'm feeling. Okay, let's keep going then. Your strength. Who or what has your back? Well, we know already your guides have your back. Okay. And then we have Judge with the Page of Swords. Your judgments of others has your back, because now they are coming from a place that isn't riddled by anxiety, wounds, fears, projections. Now you're detached from that way of seeing and perceiving the world, and you're able to see things clearly. And there's a certain kind of clever agility that you have to avoid things that are not good for you. Okay, you know how to get out of certain karmic paths or situations that would have had you tangled up in something that touches wounds deeper than they need to be touched. You can now avoid those in some way, okay? Now, all those judgments that were passed upon you, you're seeing the value in them for your own healing and self-work journey. Not that they were valid or but that they taught you something about your strength and about whose opinion of you matters, which is you and spirit. Maybe your dog or cat or parakeet. All right. Yeah. Okay. The illusion you need to break. Aletheia and 9 of Fire. This is, I'm going to keep warring, battling, working my ass off until someone sees the true me, until someone sees who I really am and the truth of my potential and my existence. I'm going to just bend over backwards and just do the hard work. That's the illusion you're shattering. You don't have to push yourself to the 9 of Swords, 9 of Wands, but maybe also the 9 of Swords, in order for you to know your own value and truth, and in order for others to know your value and truth. There's an illusion here that truth, divine truth, is hard to know. And it's not. It's not really hard to know, but it can be a challenge getting there. But the truth itself is simple. Okay? And the truth itself is that the only reason something hasn't closed for a long time is because you've been holding other people's judgments at the forefront of your mind and allowing them to block certain paths for you. And all you need to do, I know it's actually kind of hard, but Spirit's saying it's not. Okay, so I'm just going to go with what Spirit's saying. All you have to do is accept what others have told you is unacceptable about you. That can take years, I know, but Spirit is saying it's not that hard. That's the illusion, that it's hard. You're being guided. In fact, the signs and synchronicities that you're seeing are about this for you. They're telling you, accept something about yourself. So pay attention. What are you thinking when it comes? What's your mood? What's your energy? What's going on when you see certain signs and synchronicities? Are they affirmations of your thoughts? Are they trying to remind you to redirect your thinking to somewhere that is more self-sustaining rather than destroying and detrimental to yourself? Can I get one more on the guides and the full moon, Spirit? 10 of Cups. Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. This is going to feel so good if it doesn't already. Some of you are already here, self-accepting, taking your hair down, right? Like letting loose, being yourself, not having to tie anything back, hold anything back, just showing up as you are. There's a place for it in this world and you know it. And let others judge. That's their problem. That's their perspective they have to live with, not yours. Okay, and there's also something here about if somebody's blocking you because they have a negative judgment of you, don't try to prove yourself to them. That's part of this illusion here, the 9 of Wands and Aletheia. Don't try to prove yourself that you're not the judgment they've cast upon you, because they don't want to see otherwise. They've already come to some conclusion based on their own like complexes and subconscious patterns and all that. You can't undo all of that. That's going to be very hard and a waste of energy, quite frankly. Okay. What do you not want to see? 2 of Swords and the Destroyer. When you sit in a place of indecision, you're destroying a certain kind of resolve that you have and that you've been given by Spirit. This isn't, and by indecision, I don't mean a liminal space where you're feeling things out and you're in between worlds and you're vibing. I mean a place where you're given a very clear option and you have an intuition about what you should do, but you keep convincing yourself that that's wrong. Or what if, or especially if it's linked to what someone else might think about you and the decision you make. That's destroying your potential to free yourself and close the cycle. I also feel this era of life that you're stepping into, in which other people's judgments of you no longer hold any energetic weight, allows you to single-handedly shut down those wishing to destroy you. And I feel like you don't even need to do much. All you need to do is not let them in. 2 of Swords, the blocking motion, right? You're not coming through. And I am going to stay blindfolded to this judgment. I do not want to give my attention and my perception towards whatever it is you're trying to destroy within me. Okay, so you have the ability to do that. Okay, what blocks the truth? Velocity of Earth, Knight of Pentacles, the 7 of Swords. And there's something about this couch that's really standing out to me. Like a vintage looking couch here. I don't know. The River. Well, this is a feeling that something's coming back. It's just taking a long time for them to cross the river. What is this, Spirit? What blocks the truth? Someone could be very persistent, okay? And they keep, the letter C could be important. They keep trying to prevent you from closing a cycle. It's not for all of you. But if that does resonate with you, they're determined. And they create some kind of mirage or illusion or mystique around what it is they're doing and their motivations. And it's just unclear why they're still popping up, or why they're still judging you even, or what the hell they're even doing in your field. You know, there's something like that going on. And that's an attempt to block the truth, because you can't really mentally detach and clear away and move away when this energy is so persistent and keeps coming back. I mean, you can, but this is what they're attempting, you know, like it's making it harder for you. Okay, if it's not that for you, then what blocks the truth is a long-standing pattern of thinking that you've had that is self-limiting. It's embedded in lack. And it's the idea that everything is hard for you. And I bet you it was hard for you. Okay, so you learn that things don't come easily to me. I have to work hard at love, work hard at the truth, work hard at people seeing me for who I really am, work hard at whatever, fill in the blank. But you don't need to do that. But it's hard to break that thinking, and that thinking is deep in there. So you're likely a perfectionist, or someone who puts in overtime or exhausts themselves trying to master something. Or you get really down on yourself when you don't do something so-called successfully. There could be a feeling of like it's unfair. How come others around me are being recognized or loved and this and that and I'm not? And that pattern is blocking the truth that give me the right word. That what? The stone. That you are, or that you have found your gold. That you are what you've been looking for. I'm seeing this little eye here. You are the gem. And whatever it is about you that you've been, I wish I wasn't this way, or I wish I didn't have this, or whatever, right? You're realizing that whatever that is something to behold and cherish. And it's something that's important in one way or another. Okay, I feel like the energy is dissipating a little bit, so I'm going to finish this up. Where the truth is hidden. 8 of water and the shaman. She's looking at the other side of the tracks there too. You could be a singer. Okay, this is reminding me, this card is, yeah. There's something about Athens coming through too. You're moving on to better places. Look at all these watering cans you have, all these cups you have, so many watering cans, but barely any flowers to water. And so now you realize, like, hey, there's nothing over here for me to water. I got somewhere better to go, where anything is possible. Give me one more, Spirit. Where the truth is hidden. Seven of Earth. Look at all these flowers, the abundance of flowers here. Well, there are places, things, people, energies that need your water, that need your intuition, your love, your creativity, your emotions, that would grow from it, that you would harmonize with. There would be a give and take. Okay, this is like earth and water energy coming together. And that is where the truth is hidden. That is where the closing of the cycle and how to do it and how to find long-term happiness, that is where it lives, is by finding those and that which values you and harmonizes with you. You work well together. There's a mutual appreciation for what you can create together. Okay? There's a sense of unity or working together. There's magic that happens here too. Okay, I feel like you need a closing message. Okay, so I'm going to get another card and then we'll close it out here. I hope that was helpful. I feel like this reading is probably linked to one of the others quite strongly, and might, if you feel like you didn't get everything out of it, maybe watch one of the others, because I feel like this is linked. Okay, let's see. Closing message for whoever resonated with this message, Spirit. What do they need to hear to close this message? What is it that they need to hear for their highest good and the highest good of all? Highest good and the highest good of all. Advice, truths. We have fool's embrace, transmuting pain, many masks, the authentic self. And I picked up the 7 of Swords by accident when I picked up many masks. This is the one I'm going to read, because as you accept your authentic self, that part of yourself that's been judged, okay, this is how you transmute the pain. This is how you close the cycle. So let's read that many masks. Age 22 could be significant for you, also 38. The authentic self, energizing internal allies, a conscious shift. We live in a world where everyone we see wears a mask. We wear those masks to cover up and protect who we really are. We learn to do so because we've been conditioned to try to appear a certain way to fit into society. Masks allow us to belong, so we remain within the confines of what is expected. Masks are not inherently bad, rather they provide context and structure for our personalities and soul's expression. Some of us might believe that a particular mask, fixed and hardened onto us, is our permanent face. We forget that we are living beings with a multitude of faces, enabling us to experience a fuller, more vibrant world. Your authentic essence doesn't want to be constrained by others' expectations anymore. Now is the time to strip away the mask you've accepted and discover who you really are. A new self is emerging, and your perception changes as you adopt new ways of being. Right now, it's really important to allow yourself to experiment, to experience the world in all its myriad potentials and possibilities. Try on different masks and let yourself be fluid and curious. How will you know what you love and what you resonate with if you don't take off the mask you've always worn and test drive some new ones? Your authentic essence will never change. It will only express itself differently through these optional selves. Through trial and error, you discover more and more about who you want to become. What would it feel like to explore this side of you? Anything is possible if you're willing to open up your potential. You truly can move beyond the barriers that society has set. Use your imagination and step into magic. So you are rediscovering and recreating something about yourself, or a certain kind of way that you want to live, you want to feel, the way you want to express yourself out in the world. You are deciding how you want to do that based on a feeling of sovereignty and freedom and acceptance, rather than crafting yourself out of fear or judgment or lack. And that's exactly how you transmute the pain. That's what I have for you. I love you so much. I'll see you next time.